Hey, what is up? Welcome back to another very exciting Planet Coaster Let's Play. As you can see, I'm starting a brand new park. I am trying out my hand at building like one of those mega coasters that people build that just are really awesome and huge and take up the entire park and just have a huge story that goes with them. So that's what I'm kind of trying to do here, trying out different coaster types. And I realized it took me a while, I think, to figure out the kind of coaster that I wanted to use for this. I kind of wanted to build something that went through like a futuristic city. So I'm using a go-kart track here to kind of make it look like you're driving down the road. And as you'll see in a little bit, I tried to put some like antique cars on the track to make it look like there was some traffic that you're trying to weave between. And I'm probably going to work that out a little bit and see if I can make it a little bit more interesting. We'll see how this goes. I built this little causeway bridge here. So yeah, I got the idea from another user who was using go-kart tracks as a road through the city, and I still don't quite know where I want this project to go. I just trying to figure out, is it best to sort of build the coaster in pieces and then theme around it as I go. Try to create it that way with my mine train coaster, which you may have seen. I built the whole coaster first, then built the mountain around it, and then themed everything. But I didn't know if maybe I should build the coaster in sections and just build a couple feet of it and theme it and see where I want it to go from there, and maybe get some inspiration as I start to see the project come together. But here you can see I'm trying to figure out what sort of the best coaster is. I need something that has boost, the linear synchronous motors, and something that can be inverted. And I feel like there's only, at least at the time that I was making this, which was a few weeks ago, maybe only the one coaster that could do linear synchronous and inversions. So yeah, it's sort of my little plan there. You can see it. It's weaving from side to side, trying to get it so that when you're riding the coaster, you end up sort of dodging traffic, and there'll be cars on the road. One thing I wish Planet Coaster let you do was use different assets that already existed in the game as scenery. So like the antique cars are already an asset in the game. I wish you could just sort of place them as scenery without using the ride, since we already have it anyway. So here I'm planning on, well, you'll see in a minute, I stopped talking there for a second. I have the coaster kind of hits this. It's going to be like an accident on the road that you end up swerving around a car. Was the plan that there's a car coming at you, so you swerve around it. You end up hitting this like construction zone or accident or something, debris on the bridge, and I'm getting launched into the air. And that was sort of what the plan was going to be here. Sort of testing stuff. As I'm testing, I guess I'll say, I guess I don't have anything to say. This is going to be a boring one, isn't it? Planning my next trip to Disney World. Thinking about going back in April. That should be fun. I go every year and I never get sick of that place. I'm sure if you're watching Planet Coaster, you're probably a Disney fan. I would assume that if you're obsessed enough with amusement parks to build your own, that you're probably a fan of Walt Disney World. So here you can see I'm trying to build some of the traffic going along with your coaster. I wonder if I could have used go-karts. No, I have multiple tracks. So the idea is that you're going to go through. These cars are going to be driving on the road, and when they're not on the road, they'll be hidden by other objects and buildings, and that they'll be taking exits off the road before you hit them. But I was trying to figure out if this should be a one-lane road or like a two-way road with cars going each way, or if It should be like a 2-lane and 1-direction road. I was trying to figure out the best way to do that. I think I end up making these cars come at you in the end. I also didn't realize that you could have more cars than station platform length. So I built really long station platforms before realizing that I really only need the one. POV. This is actually going to be I've got 2 videos, 2 different times I worked on this, and I've put them into the one stream today. So you'll see. I think there was a time I worked on it here, and then I worked on it and I forgot to capture. So I think when we get to the end of the first video and we start the second one, there's going to be just a sudden jump in what my park has done. Just trying to get it to go up the bridge evenly. It was actually kind of cool. I had it at one point perfectly level with the bridge, and when the coaster hit the end of the track, it didn't explode. It just sort of went down and continued driving. Pretty sunset. So yeah, I was thinking I was going to have these cars going maybe into a parking garage. I wonder if now with the synchronizing of tracks, if I could time it better so that as the train goes, you know, everything is always timed the same, that the cars start moving when the train is launched. There's an idea. That might be interesting. Coming up here is, I made the mistake I always make with the lights. I try to put lights underground, or like, you know, so that the actual light canister itself is not visible. But then when I put it underground, I can't select it again. So I lose it forever. The fall off on the lights is a little weird. Yeah, see, now I can't reselect that one without deleting the go-kart track first. Try as I may, I cannot click on it. Might change the way those car tracks work there, because I might make the turns a little like sharper, so it comes straight out and makes a 90-degree corner rather than kind of easing its way out. I think you can adjust the length. Yeah, so I'm just putting some debris on the road. Why that's there, I don't quite know. Move to the left signs, like there's actually construction. Oh, that's right. Then I put lights on the signs and used triggers so it looked like they were glowing. That was kind of cool. I was pretty happy with the way that came out. I did a single trigger and then put delays on them so that they came on in sequence. Oh, someone is texting me. My phone is so old it takes forever. There we go. I'm gonna go play some laser tag tonight with my buddy Phil. There's a bowling alley that has a laser tag down the street, and they're doing laser tag leagues. So he asked if I'd join his league. Competitive laser tag. It's like an FPS IRL. If you KWIM, since we're using TLAs. Adding some bridge traffic here. I don't know how I'm going to motivate that, but you can see there was the bit where the train continued to drive down the go-kart track even though the track had ended. It was kind of cool. Yeah, it's weird. They let you build the track on top of other track, right? They don't care if your track collides with other things, but they won't let the station collide with other things, which I understand why, but it's just inconsistent. Like if they don't care if stuff collides, just let stuff collide, you know? Normally when I do these time lapses, I end up removing all the first person little tests that I do, but I'm gonna leave them in this time just because the coaster's obviously not complete and it's so fast, then you're not gonna notice. Oh, that's right, I blueprinted. This is my first attempt at making a blueprint. I like how the headlights still show up, but nothing else does. I didn't notice that while I was doing it. Little airplane wing building that I made, trying to make a sci-fi like city. I ended up using some weird stuff. It's one of the things I love when I watch people make these things is like the props that they use to get things that you would never have expected those things to be used for, and they completely sell it. Like, oh, we're going to show 1/4 of this thing, and we're going to light it in a certain way so it looks like something completely different. Like, oh, here's a panda, and we make the panda bigger, and then only show the head of it, suddenly it's a whale. That's a terrible... just forget I said that. That was a terrible example. Some street lights. City's starting to look like a city street that you're driving down. Build some more buildings. It kind of looks like an apartment balcony. Jesus. Who keeps texting? I'm sure it's Phil again. I'm a part of a group text. And every time, I don't know if you've seen the meme of Michael Scott just... when he finds out that Toby is coming back to the office, and he just reacts, no, 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 no. But that's the meme. Is like how I feel when I'm part of a group text. That's how I always feel. I hate being part of group texts. So apparently there aren't enough people playing laser tag tonight because nobody could commit to 4 Sundays. The tournament is 4 weeks. It's on Sunday. They couldn't commit. Couldn't get enough people to commit. I might see if one of my friends will go with me. I'm not like a huge laser tag aficionado, but it's $10 for the tournament, and it's fun. It's something to do rather than sit here and play video games. Hang out with people in real life. You swerve, you hit that thing, back on the road. I thought about just moving the whole coaster down a little bit so that you can't see the track. All you see is the props, but then at some point you're gonna have to see the track, like when it flies up through the air. It's not like it's a secret that this is a roller coaster, so. Man, I'm tired. It's only 1:30 in the afternoon. I went down to Home Depot today. I went to buy some gas for my lawnmower. I get the stuff without ethanol, and while I was there, I looked at their clearance section, and they had some LED light bulbs, the 8.5 watt LEDs, and I was like, oh, I need some new light bulbs for the light in my living room. So I picked them up. They were like $2, like $1.99 for a 4-pack of bulbs. I went to ring them in, and they rang up at 1 cent. So I asked the guy there if there were any more in the store, and he said no, but the store down the street in Portland had 50 of them in stock. So I drove to Portland and I asked around, and apparently they're on a pallet and they're about to get thrown away. And I was like, I will pay you the 1 cent a box for these rather than getting the nothing for throwing them away. The guy was like, no, I can't do that. I was like, you can do it. I just did it in Wyndham. But gentleman assured me that it was not something that could happen. So I was done arguing. So I got 1 pack of LED light bulbs for 1 cent, which I think was a good deal because I didn't go in for it, and in the great scheme of things, didn't pay for them either. So, oh, looks my little ravine with the traffic. It looks like the traffic is backing up, because of the accident or whatever, which is semi-realistic. I wish you could change the cars that they weren't all the same. I mean, not just change the color, but change the theming of them. Maybe you can now, by the time I've aired this. The summer expansion, the summer expansion has come out, so this is kind of an old footage. I haven't put the voiceover on it. I just moved my computer down into I have a home theater down in, it's not quite my basement. I have a weird split level, so I've got my basement, then half a flight above that I have a home theater, like half a flight of stairs above that, in the other direction back over my basement I have a kitchen, and then coming back above my home theater I have all the bedrooms in my house. So it's like, it's a split level, but like somebody just took a house and split left and right, the left and right side of the house, and like offset them. So it's like I almost have a four-story house, but it's like 4 half stories. So I have a home theater, which is half the size of my house essentially, and I moved my computer desk down here. So now I can use my projector as an extra monitor. So like, if I'm playing video games, or I can hook my Xbox controller up to my PC and I can play Rocket League on my theater screen, or if when I play, like my buddy Mike comes over and we play Planet Coaster. When I say we play, it's like I drive and he likes to watch and give ideas. So he can watch on the big screen now. I think now we're in the second part of the video, so there's a bit of a gap there. I'm checking like the fear of the ride. That's one thing I learned building an older coaster. One of the other coasters that I built was that if the fear stays high too long, no one will ride it. Which, if you're just building something to show off on YouTube or whatever. Oh, this was something I couldn't figure out. I had auto tunnel turned on and it wouldn't let me tunnel. I don't know, maybe if it's because the water was there or what, but it wasn't letting me do auto tunnel, and I'm not sure why. Somebody, if you know, leave a comment. I won't say down below because I don't know where you're watching, but yeah, leave a comment if you know why it wasn't letting me do the auto tunnel there, because I would like to know, because I have an inquiring mind. So yeah, the idea is that it's going to go into the ground here, and fun stuff was going to happen, but I had a real hard time building under the ground. Because I had to put lights in just so I could build, and moving them around and placing them, it was just difficult. I thought about just like removing the top of this mountain and just making it so it was, you know, it wasn't underground, and then closing it back in again. But I might still do that. Gonna make a fun little entrance into this area. I was wondering what was fun is the coaster keeps going down and exploding when it gets to the end, as it crashes into the side of the rocks there. So yeah, I wanted to go up and then come sort of back behind where we just came from and reuse that section of the map again for some underground stuff. Then have it come back out and go above ground in another section of the map, and then go underground under that same section, so I can get, you know, you can use less of the map. And I mean, if you do it right, you can just keep tunneling through layers. I don't know if there's a depth level of how deep you can go into the map or not. But you know, you could just keep doing sections of the ride, one under another, and just building caverns and areas. Oh. I don't know if I did that. Oh, I think I switched monitors there so that, I'm not sure. Filled this all up with lights so I could try to see what I was doing, but the fall off is pretty quick, so they don't really light up the whole area. That would be nice to have like a work light type. Yeah, I tried to open up the ceiling to see if letting sunlight in would help, but it didn't. Did not help. See, like even as I change the time of day, you can see the shadow moves, but it doesn't illuminate down there. Like, it doesn't bounce back. So, oh god, and working around there, like just moving the camera, I would all of a sudden wind up on top of the ground. Nightmare. Oh yeah, I put some bubbles. This was gonna be a underwater section. Was how I wanted to theme this. So I was gonna fill it with blue lights, put some bubbles around. I got the water curtain as you come in. But yeah, I couldn't even see where the ground was to put the lights, let alone the loot light. It was hard. Changing the colors to different underwatery kind of colors. Put some fish and things in there. People have done some awesome stuff making props by terraforming, and then I guess I don't know if they paint somehow the ground. I'm really not super experienced with Planet Coaster yet. Building these things by terraforming and then colorizing them, and somebody built a Moana coaster, and some of the stuff that they did with terraforming and that is just incredible. Building custom props. Some crazy artists who do work with Planet Coaster. And if any of you are watching this, you are amazing. You do incredible work, and I want to know how you do it. So that after you go over the jump, I'm going to have it so that, you take a sort of an exit, and I don't know, somehow you're going to be on top of other buildings that I'm going to build in there, and that's going to sort of be part of the city skyline, and you're going to be jumping across that. Well, anyway, this is the end of the video now, so if you like it, subscribe, check back. I appreciate you watching this stuff. As always, this is Evils Plays Games. I will see you later.